love talking about purpose. I love talking about how that comes into play in this next phase of life. A lot of us, we've reached that point in midlife where we just start wondering what's next. We have done a lot of things in our lifetime already. And if you're anything like me, you have spent a lot of time shoulding on yourself in the previous season, doing all the things that you should do or that you think you should do. And you might be just waking up and wondering who you are, how did you get here, and you might just be trying to figure out like what's next. There's got to be more to life than this, and the good news is there is a whole lot more. And so I just want you to be able to look ahead, not feeling overwhelmed, thinking about having to like reinvent yourself, because without a clear sense of direction, this can be quite confusing. So today I want to help you explore that. So I'm going to talk about it as if you were putting this destination in your GPS. And so always you have to start with your current location and what your beliefs are about yourself, about the life you've lived, about what purpose even really means. We have to know where we're coming from before we can even enter in our destination. And GPSs are so nice because it often autofills your current location. Well, today you're not going to be able to get away with that. For so many of us, this stage of life, it can feel complicated. You might have served a lot of other people's purposes and dreams and plans and needs up until this point, and might have wondered like, what has happened to your needs, your purpose, your dreams? And you may even be, like I said, wondering, is this all there is? And we do get to a point where things have gotten so complicated, we just find ourselves just doing the motions, right? Waking up, doing what we should do, and falling into bed exhausted at night, maybe for a good night's sleep if you're lucky, only to get up and do it again. So if you're wondering where you fit into all of this called life, I get it. That this is where a lot of us find ourselves, and this is where I found myself not long ago. For a lot of us, it's not that we don't have purpose, it's just that we shoulded on ourselves and thought our purpose was just to take care of everyone else, or just to cook dinner for our family, or just to make sure kids get to school and back. And those things are very important, and I don't want to belittle any of that, because the truth of it is, if that's all you do in your lifetime, it is actually really important. But there is more to the person inside of you. There's a lot under that hood, and today I want to get to the bottom of it, okay? But you may be wondering, like, where do I start? Because there's a lot of pressure here. And a lot of us, we have these thoughts, we have these beliefs. And unfortunately, if we're not careful, those thoughts, they lead to beliefs, which lead to our actions. And so I'm here to tell you that if you find yourself in a place where you don't want to be, it's often because those thoughts led to beliefs, which led to your actions, which led you to here. The good news is, the same is true to going to where you want to go. So let's talk about what your beliefs are about your life and your purpose. Sometimes we think things like it's too late for me to have a purpose or to find purpose. And then some of us, we think like, what in the world is purpose? It's too complicated. I'm too tired right now. Like, I'm just barely making things happen, right? And a lot of people think, I'm not sure I have anything to even offer this world. And that is one of the worst thoughts to have, because that just means that your voice doesn't matter. And I want to tell you right now, it does. But the truth of it is, these thoughts so easily creep in. It's easy to start believing them, especially if we have a bad day, or if we live in an environment where there's not a lot of value for what we put in. And so if any of this resonates with you, please drop a comment here, because I want to know. I want to be able to support you. It is really important to know that we're not the only people feeling this way. And so I have a couple of questions for you so that we can get to the bottom of what our beliefs are. Go ahead and grab a pen and a paper if you want. If you are watching the replay, go into the Facebook group and get the workbook because it's all in there. So you don't have to remember what I've gone over. You can do it kind of in hindsight and listen just for the first run and then go back and do the pondering and thinking. I want you just to write down a few things that you currently believe about purpose. So maybe it's purpose is something I missed the boat on, or I've never been that type of person to think I have a big purpose or a clear purpose. Whatever it is, I want you to be honest with yourself. This isn't about getting it right. It's about getting down to what is real in your heart, what you really have thought and believed about this. I think for me, purpose was something I was just too exhausted to go after. It felt like this treasure that you had to go after and hunt. And what if you never find it? And it just felt like it was this wild goose chase, I think, and the truth of it is it's the farthest from the truth. It's actually really, really simple because if anything, your number one purpose is being a daughter of God, right? And that one is a simple one, is to love and be loved. And that one is one of my favorite purposes to be put on here on this earth, is to love others and to be loved by others and to be loved by God. So I want you to think about those feelings that you have, though, about the things you just wrote down about purpose. They might lead to regret, or they might lead to pain, or you may have had good thoughts about purpose, actually. I just want you to identify those feelings because if you can be honest with yourself, those feelings really do conjure up things that lead us to our actions. Those are usually the red flags or the things that compel us to do something about the thing. If you felt like you've missed out, one good thing to write down right now would be like, what do you feel like you're missing out on? Do you feel like you're missing out on the excitement and the spark of something? Do you feel like you're missing out on making a difference? Feeling like you're missing out on something that's just yours and yours alone? Write down that feeling, that thing that you feel like you might be missing. Whether it's small or hard to define, try your best because this will really, really help you get that foundational starting point. And then the next thing I want you to write down is what do you want to let go of? What do you not want to have around anymore? What regrets and burdens do you feel? And what in your heart gives you that, like I would be fine if I didn't have this in my life ever again, right? Because that's the thing that you need to let go of so that you can move forward. And that's really important to know. Maybe you're just done saying yes to everyone and you only want to say yes to the things that really matter to you. I know that was important for me. Maybe you're tired of feeling invisible. This was a big one for me. And I know I've mentioned in previous live streams, when I started to dress to match the person I wanted to be, I quit being invisible. All of a sudden, people could see the real me. It was almost like the way I had been dressing, I didn't know it, but I was hiding, which made me invisible. And I was so tired of feeling invisible. It was just crazy how I was walking right into that trap. Maybe you're ready to stop putting everyone else first. It doesn't mean that you don't value other people or that you don't want to help other people, but maybe you just want to, when you first get up in the morning, go straight for that cup of coffee. For me, it's tea, but I know that coffee is one of the things that many of you love. And just have your quiet time. Like, what would things look like if you put you first for just a few minutes every day? It just sets that foundation. So whatever it is, I want you to write down, what do you want to let go of so that you can move forward, okay? And be honest with yourself. Nobody's going to read this paper. If you're afraid of putting it on paper, write it on the paper and then tear it up, okay? Like, just do this for yourself. Because this is what will help you truly identify what matters to you in this next phase so that you can enter that destination into your GPS and start heading down the road that way. It helps you know where you're coming from, where your mindset is, what the truth is about the way you've lived your life currently so that you can cut yourself loose and give yourself freedom to move forward. All right. So now that we know that where we're coming from, now it's time to enter into that destination where you truly want to go in this next phase of life. And like I said, it's like entering it into your GPS, the programming of your GPS. And so instead of picking any random destination, where we're going to go through just how to identify that destination so that you can find something that's aligned with where you're going, that feels purposeful and uniquely yours. And so everyone here is going to have different answers. And that is the beauty of it. I love the diversity of God's creation. We're all here for different reasons. So of course we have different purposes. We have different dreams. We have different aspirations. Okay. So I want you to sit down and write down the truths of what you actually want, whether you've been walking in that direction, whether you believe that you can get there or not. I want you just to write down what you actually want, okay? And this can feel scary because I don't want you to attach to this your personal ability to get there. We're relying on the GPS, okay? So you're just putting in the destination. And here's the thing, you're in amazing company. Women, we all have lots of thoughts. We have lots of opinions. We have lots of places we want to go. So you may have multiple places you want to go. For this exercise, just put one, okay? Don't overwhelm yourself. Just put one. And I was researching different people out there who have been on this pathway before us. And I love the story of Vera Wang, right? She spent so much of her early career in journalism and in fashion, and she wasn't in designing. And here she is now, one of the biggest designers in our lifetime. But it wasn't until she hit in her 40s, I forget the exact age, but it was in her 40s when she decided to go ahead and take that huge leap, to do the scary thing. She did it insecure. She was worried that she missed her chance. And here she is, recognized as one of the world's best fashion designers. So her story, it's proof that a shift in direction in your midlife, later in life, it isn't impossible, and it can lead to an incredible sense of purpose, fulfillment, and significance in life. Okay, and that's just one example. There's so many more, but let's go ahead and start discovering some of these truths about what you want. Look at the beliefs you wrote down. For example, if one of your beliefs was, I'm not sure I'm capable of making a difference. That right there could be the very thing that was holding you back from making a difference. Because if you start thinking about it, okay, so here's where the truth might be. I know personally, I would have loved someone like me to have spoken up and done the scary thing and saved me in my 20s and 30s of some of the hardships that I went through, which means what I carry now, the wisdom that I carry now, and the experience I carry now, it's valuable. And I am capable of making that impact. Okay? So that would be the truth. If I were to seriously sit down and work it out, that lie of I'm not sure I'm capable of making a difference, I actually am capable of making a difference, of making an impact. Okay? So write down your truth, write down the reality of what's connected to your destination, not your starting point. I don't want you to start from that insecurity. I want you to start from the place of where you want to be, where you're going. Okay. And so let's think about this, that desire in the next chapter. You know, this again, we talked about shoulding in the last section, but this section, it's not about those obligations. It's not about those expectations people have of us or the expectations we've put upon ourselves, or what you think you should do or want. It's about what you genuinely think will fulfill you or has already fulfilled you in the past. You know, think about past experiences that lit you up and made you excited, made you feel like you were living significantly and in purpose. And so if you're not sure yet of where you want to go, those little experiences in your past are little nuggets of truth that you can, they're little crumbs left behind for you to follow so that you can find that path towards your purpose, so that you can feel truly alive, deeply connected to yourself and to the world around you. So I want you to look at the glimpses of your destination that was before you, hints that you left behind. There may be times in your life where you dabbled in something creative or crafty and it inspired you. I know a lot of women after their 40s or an empty nest. It's like they rediscover their paintbrush or their pencil or their writing, right? They become authors because they just have all this stuff that's been ruminating for years, ready to get out. And it's just your way of contributing and giving away all the things that are so meaningful to you and things that matter to you. But I want you to write down those moments, things that come up, that come to mind. Don't question them. Just write it down. You can go back and question them later, okay? But these are hints of where you want to go. And it's kind of like little landmarks that, like when GPS, sometimes it'll say turn right at the McDonald's, right? Like that McDonald's is a landmark. I don't know, McDonald's was the first thing that came to mind. I've not eaten there in years. But anyway, if you feel comfortable, please put it in the comments, share with us. I know about a year or two ago, I was doing exercises just like this in a different group, and it was terrifying to speak up. But this is a safe place, okay? Because you're discovering yourself for this new season. And seeing each other's reflections, it can remind us that we're not on this journey by ourselves, that we're in it together. And it might actually spark thoughts and memories and things that you didn't even think of that take you further down the path, okay? But now that we've got the destination in our GPS, it's time to talk about how we'll stay on track to actually get there. I know when I'm driving using my GPS, I leave my GPS on the dashboard. So it's right there in my vision so that I can look out the window without getting distracted. So we keep that GPS right in front of us, don't we? Right? And we glance at it often because we don't want to miss a turn, but we're making sure that we're staying on course. And the same goes for purpose, okay? Keeping your purpose right in front of you, visible. It helps you keep things intentional so that you can make a difference while you're on that pathway and you don't get lost, you don't feel lost, and you're actually just moving forward one step at a time, one turn at a time. And one of the biggest things that can pull us off track is our own thoughts. Okay, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and our thoughts lead to these beliefs. And the beliefs lead to feelings, which leads to actions. And here's this cool thing. It's a flip of a coin, right, as well. So our actions can lead to feelings, which shape our beliefs and our thoughts. And so, if we're taking intentional actions and steps towards this purpose and this goal and this dream, even little small ones, they help infuse us and keep us excited and on track or trepidated and just, but they keep us on track and they help reinforce those beliefs and thoughts that we need to be set into place to be able to continue the next step. Because sometimes if you skip a step, you're lost. The other night, I totally thought I knew where I was going, so I turned the GPS off and I was on the right road going the wrong direction. Okay. And so that is how those thoughts, beliefs, expectations, and feelings cycle. It's a powerful cycle. And it can keep you on track or it can derail you. And I want to help you stay on track. Here's the truth. As women, we're incredibly resourceful. We're incredibly deep feelers. And so when we set our minds to something, we will find a way to act on it. And here's the beauty of it. If we're worried about getting off track, Psalms 32:8 reminds us, I'm going to read it right here. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Okay, that's the encouragement we need right there. That is, if we're unsure about the next step, or if we're going in the right direction, or if we've gotten off track, guess what? His loving eye is on you and he's going to counsel you. And so you don't have to worry about things as long as you've got that GPS set right in front of you. which can be all kinds of things. It can be affirmations, it could be scriptures. It really, truly, if you're praying about it and you're thinking about it, you always go in the direction of your focus. And so if you're focused on the thing that you want and where you want to go, that's the GPS. You're keeping it in front of you. You can't help but go there. So today I want to challenge you to take that daring step to share what you want. Either share it in the Facebook group, share it with a friend. Sometimes just vocalizing it to someone kind of gets that ball in motion when we're afraid to take that first step. It's just putting it in motion. It makes it feel more real. It makes it more attainable. Somehow when we have it in our mind, the dream and the thought feels bigger than we feel like we're capable of. And then once we get to talking about it, all of a sudden we start thinking of ideas and things that can lead us to that big dream. And who knows, you might find out that it's totally possible. And in that conversation with the person, they may be excited to be the person who comes in and supports you on that dream and walks through it with you. Thank you for being here, for sharing your reflections. I know it is scary, and I am honored and feel so blessed that you are here. It's the first step to staying connected to that, your path, your dream, your purpose. And we're all here. We're all on this journey called life. And we're not meant to travel it alone. We're meant to be connected. And so you didn't find me, and I didn't find you by accident. And so I can't wait to dive deeper into this work with you. So next week, we're going to be talking about the action steps that it takes to get down this road called purpose. And this next phase of life, it's going to be better than the previous. You know, we've been led to think that aging is this thing that is terrible and we don't have anything to look forward to but aches and pains in our bodies. Well, guess what? Here on this live stream, I'm here to help you get past those aches and those pains, the beauty disappointments, and help you actually find beauty. As a beauty advisor, it's one of my favorite things to do is to help you feel beautiful and feel good in your own skin. And that's an important step towards your purpose as well. So join us on Wednesday in the Making Life Beautiful Again Facebook group. Grab a friend, that person that you told your big purpose and secret to, have them come join the group too. And I'll see you guys there next week.